my third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi y'all, We're the Guy here, and we are back with some more Ace Attorney Chronicles. Hope you're doing great. We're still on this first case. We're about to do our second set of questioning with these two nerds. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was that young lad in black. That much I did myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed. Alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Alright, so now our job. Oh. These... Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. Look at these two people. They look nervous. No eye contact. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. I'm immediately noticing something here. I believe on the other photo we have with the victim in it, the food hasn't been eaten out of yet. As can be plainly seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Aochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Dude, we are cooked, dude. But we'll do some more cross-examining shortly and we'll see what happens. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryu. It's not over yet. Oh, that's our buddy? Yeah, never mind, wrong voice. What? What you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. Click. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but to make it quick. Understood. Tisk. Rules can be so unbending at times. More cross-examining time, baby. Hope you're all having a great day. Yeah, so even if I saw wasn't the precise, it's almost the same thing. Pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black, that much I did see. Visual search showed only personnel present. Alone he was the Englishman dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. What do you think, Ryu? Oh. What's the matter? can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No, 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 no! You're not going to get to go to Great Britain, Kazuma. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. Just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against each of the witness statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with LB. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right? I see. The important point is there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on it. Press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, I'm sure of it. One way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. And Kazuma going to Great Britain. Alright, so which part should we press? Let's... What do you think, Ryu? What's the matter? Can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No, 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 no! Listen, first thing to do is... Oh. Yep. I know. I know. Let me try again. Alright. Let's try just pressing each time. Maybe we can do that without penalty.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Click. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Whatever. Have what? Attention? The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurokuta-san? Okay. Well, let's try pressing this one.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when... I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment... a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. We don't care about that. Anyway, the fact remains. Myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Yes!
The waiter was definitely there. He must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have even caught a glimpse of this woman. Only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Fortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. Great ruling, Judge. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day. Why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hata Clinic, yes. There would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryu? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for the report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Yeah, why not?
Yes!
I love that he raises his hand. It's so cute. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
I love Kazuma, dude. He's so sick. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Like, officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Nice. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Karukoto-san. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Yes!
We're gonna keep pressing everything. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. Dude, how are we gonna get out of this? As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beef steak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. Oh, I bet the victim's a vegetarian. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? I'm perfectly honest, I have no idea. Therefore, I don't know, blah blah blah, bless him.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. Yeah, who is this mysterious lady? There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed, but for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. You're nervous. Unfortunately for you, defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. We're in a pickle, dude. I don't know how we're gonna get this. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. And it's a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Zuma's cooking over there. Zuma's cooking. Excellent work, Ryu. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? We already know this. Court record. You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a close look at this piece in question. Use the right stick. Ah. So we could have flipped that other thing earlier maybe. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, you pan. Pan. I see that. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Crosshairs start to pulsate. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Yep. Something here. Dentist, Hata Clinic. Oh, I bet that he couldn't eat because he had just done something with his teeth. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. The family doctor, I imagine. I can't imagine going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Wow, what great lessons. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point, so you don't like doctors then. Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All while you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Alright. Dentist. Yeah, alright, let's look at this. It says Hata Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Got an achievement. Alright. So, how do I get out of here? Can't find anything out of place. Alright, let's double check. All seems normal. There we go, let's rotate it the right way. Oh, there's more in here, okay. Let's have a look. Oh, let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Well, it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record. This new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Okay, so this one doesn't matter. Is this the time to present it, maybe? Use it. Yeah, this is where we present right here. I want to examine these more too. Oh, we can't rotate this one though. Is there anything we can get if we? Not particularly. All right, let's look at. I want to look at the business card too and flip it over. Oh, there is more here. Good bit more. Oh, this guy is a police officer. The waiter is a police officer. Okay, we're gonna look more at that in a bit. Let's go ahead and present this first.
Yes!
Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. But first and foremost, here, I'm the accused. Ryu. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you know exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Let's bring it up. Let's tell him. Let's give him the news. Karakura-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my word so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may have not done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, remember, Ryu, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. You fuck this guy. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have perpetrated the... This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. Dude, the dramatic delivery of that he gives is great. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating? Oh, this is sick. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Karakura-san. What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Expertly done, partner. Ooh, everybody's...
Objection!
Uh-oh. What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? This is sick. These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant's case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryu? Yes, then most definitely. So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? So true. Who was eating the beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been an as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak at his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. The court decides to push through a ruling at this stage. We will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Suma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! So sick, dude. It's starting to come together. Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. Uh-oh. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh, they're unraveling. Oh. What? What did you just say, Koto-san? No. You were just following orders. Now, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
Oh, this is nice. We're doing good. What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Dude, they're so nervous. Look at them. I love it. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Dude, this game is so entertaining. Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now you tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryu, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before. We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god, I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this, Well, Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary evidence is... I believe it's this guy.
Yes!
Ah. Well, surely that would be... Satori Hasanaga-san. Hasanaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make those witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... Come on, Ryu. Time to hit the court with the truth.
Yes!
Yeah? I'm not sure what this is supposed to prove, Counsel. I think, Your Excellency, that what this proves is not the true nature of the waiter, but the true nature of the accused. Sorry? A blackguard who would stoop to presenting irrelevant evidence to incriminate an innocent man. That is the true nature of this rookie. What? Oh, we have to... Try again. Go over all the evidence we have one more time. Something in there that proves the waiter really is, I'm sure of it. Alright then, I'll try. Alright, let's do that again. I think I just have to, examine it first. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. There's nothing to show the woman you say you saw here. There. Exactly, and that's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryu. Alright, then we... This is what we needed. Well, that's unexpected. What is this? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hasanaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. Of course a waiter would have a business card. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector, what on earth? Yeah, that's right. I have no idea. Well, let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. They're wielding it somehow here. Yes, there we go. Now we should be able to use this.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hasanagi-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. There we go, we got him. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... We're cracking it, dude. Who is it? Yeah, it's the boy. Dude, he looks so cool. I really like this guy. Inspector Hasanaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Flashback. Well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course. Your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. This music's really good here, too. As soon as I heard the gunshots, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. Oh man. Things are getting tense. So, I didn't realize there would be so much of a political angle here, too. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Umea University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? A student. You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Umea University's medical facility. What is happening here? Dude, this case is getting so wild. I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Oh, very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. Judge trumps police, dude. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem? I'm dying. Oh, look at this guy. Nothing will get in my way. Except my dying. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Fantastic. This is a lovely place to stop, actually. It's a little early. We usually do about an hour, but we're at a to be continued thing. So this is probably a good point. Right when we get to save our progress? Perfect. Perfect. It's right here. So, we're going to stop there. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really curious. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that this lady is probably the murderer, right? But what isn't clear is motive, right? And what isn't clear is why it's attempted to be covered up. We still don't know that. And also, if there's anything else interesting with the general and the old man. Because it seemed like there was a lot of focus on the old man's curio stuff, like his fancy thing, relic, whatever it is. And there's also the baby with the army man. So there might be something with that as well. I don't know. Otherwise, it's just like a cute detail, and I don't know. But I'm having so much fun. Thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. I appreciate you. I'm really having a lot of fun with this game. I hope my voices don't bug you too much. I'm trying to keep them consistent, but we'll see how it goes. Y'all take care of yourselves, okay? And take care of each other. I'll see you next time. Peace out.